since nothing is really ever enough for us, no set timeline for anybody, we are in hustle culture. I used to be like, yeah, you know, I work 2 jobs. Hello guys, it's your girl Aya, and as you can see, I'm back with another video. If you don't know who I am, yada yada, actress LA. I'm super excited to talk about this topic, which is really ironic because I'm talking about why we're not happy, but I'm excited because I recently found a lot of these things out. I really wanted to share these. Of course, everybody's experience is different. Let me give a big disclaimer that this is my experience from things that I've experienced and I've watched from friends and family as well. I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm not even gonna waste any time. Why we're never happy. Why are we as people never happy? Now, I'm not saying we don't have happy moments. Don't let the title confuse you. I'm not saying we're never happy, like that literally. But the things that keep causing us unhappiness. This is one of the things that I realized that was making me so unhappy. I had no idea that this was making me so unhappy. As a matter of fact, I actually thought it was benefiting me. And it could potentially benefit you, but it depends on how you're using it. But most of us are not using it in a positive way. Number 1, you're not living in the present moment. Now you may go, yeah, I am. I'm literally sitting here watching this video, like obviously I'm living in the present moment. Well, right now, you may or may not be engaged. You may be distracted by something else. It really depends, you know? I might have your full attention right now. I can't tell you because I can't exactly see what you're doing right now. But when I say we're not living in the present moment, we're not living in the now, it's because our mind is always somewhere else. We're either living in the future or we're living in the past. It's so rare that we're living in the moment. But a lot of the times, when we are genuinely, truly living in the moment, that is one of the best times that we actually have in life if you really sit and think about it. Now, in regards to the past, if you're living in the past, you could either be beating yourself up. How could I do this? How could I let somebody treat me like this? Or maybe your trauma has a hold on you. Now, things like trauma, of course, we cannot control. All we can do is do our best to try to heal. But if you are beating yourself up over the past, it is not helping you whatsoever because you cannot go back and change the past. Is there a time machine out there? I'm sure there probably is, but majority of the population does not have access to that time machine, so we cannot go back and change the things we want. So to beat yourself up over something that happened, whether you did or whether it happened to you, you're not doing yourself any good. When you finally realize, okay, I can't change it, let me stop obsessing over it and thinking over it, you can let it go. Like when people say let things go, I think in terms of the past, you have to let them go in a certain way. If your past is affecting you on a daily basis in a negative way, then I don't want to say you gotta let it go, but you do. Let me tell you guys what I do. Whenever something that does not serve me pops into my mind and it upsets me, I close my eyes and I just take deep breaths till it leaves my mind. And I literally kind of like, not so literally, but like each breath is me releasing that memory, and I just keep doing that until it goes away. No matter what, your past is going to affect you because your past is what kind of helped make you who you are today. But don't let your past have control over you. Let your past help you do better for the present moment. Now that you've made those mistakes or you've seen what it feels like to get treated that way, you should be like, okay, I've learned from this mistake. I won't do that again. You see the signs, you know, the red flags, whatever it is, because there's so many different things in regards to life in your past. Let your past help you. In regards to your future, I used to think about my future every day, and I kind of almost still do, but I do in a very, very different way. It's more so in the back of my mind. Before, I used to think about my future every day. What can I do today to like help me get to my future? What can make me a step closer to achieving my dreams? And the more I was obsessing over it, the more I became unhappy about my current life, and I can guarantee you a lot of you probably do the same. I would beat myself up about not being where I'm supposed to be. What does that even mean? You know, like there is no timeline. There's no set timeline for anybody. We think because we see all these people and they're young or they're younger than us or they're the same age as us doing the things we want to do that we're not moving fast enough. But no, everybody has a unique timeline and a unique experience. So you have to stop obsessing over the future and beating yourself up for not being where you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you're meant to be right now. There are things in your journey that have to occur for you to get to where you need to be. When I finally stopped like obsessing over my future every day and realized I was being too hard on myself and putting too much pressure on myself, it literally felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. instead of thinking about my future every day, I just keep it in the back of my mind. Like, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to accomplish in life, all the things that I want to do. So if I know that, why do I need to think about it every single waking moment of the day? You know what I mean? And I've noticed when you finally let things go, that's when things start to seem to happen for you. Like, have you ever been like, you know what, I'm done with relationship, and then you meet somebody who steals your heart away, and then that becomes like, you know, the love of your life, or the love for the moment, or whatever. Like, things always come usually when you're not expecting them, or when you finally let them go. Even in my experience, like the things I was obsessing over, my acting career, and I would be like, I should be further, blah 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 blah, but I was actually a lot further than I was to begin with, because I graduated high school early and went to college early. But at that time, I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking of what I have accomplished. I was thinking I should be doing more. Why haven't I accomplished this? You have to let all that go. When you start appreciating how far you've come, that's when you start making progress and letting go of all the pressures. And I know it's hard because life is hard. Literally, me and my friends, or the people I've talked to about this, they agree that when they finally just let go and just be in the present, like, we as people, we just are here to live. And you know, of course, we all have our own interpretations of why we're here and stuff like that, but us as humans, we shouldn't have these high expectations of I have to do this by this age, or do this or that. No, just be here and do your best and live another day. Okay, reason number 2. Also, these are not in any order. We always want more. Now, when I say this, I mean, it seems like we can never truly, I don't want to say we can't truly appreciate, but our appreciation only lasts for so long. Let me give you an example. We all have goals in life, and I'm sure you've met a goal once upon a time. So think about that time you met a goal that you really had wanted to meet for a long time. You got there, you probably were so happy, maybe you even cried tears of joy, and I'm sure you felt really happy to accomplish what you wanted. Really think, how long did that last? How long did you feel happy for accomplishing that thing? You could have wanted that thing for years, but like, how long do you actually appreciate where you are and how far you've come? I can almost guarantee that it probably was only for so long, because when we reach something, it's like, okay, what's next? We gotta keep going up the ladder. I've done this now I gotta do something else, which is, you know, understandable. We have to keep moving forward, but like, we never really just kind of bask in the ambiance, you know? Not too many of us really take the time to just be like, wow, look how far I've freaking come. Like, this is a big deal. And just sit in that for a while and just appreciate that. It is always, okay, what's next? Or now that I did this, I gotta do this. And that's okay, you know? Like I said, we have to move on. Life keeps going. Sometimes it's like nothing is ever enough for us. You could hear people talk about, I want to be a millionaire for every day of their life. And they become a millionaire, and then it's like, okay, time to make more. Time to make more money. It's like, you know, no matter what we do, we always keep climbing. And you know, that's okay. How long do we really appreciate what we've accomplished? In a sense, nothing is really ever enough for us. And I know that probably sounds like, whoa, you're taking that a bit too far, girly. But no, really think about it. Even me, I'm gonna tell you guys how I have really just finally came around to appreciate how far I've come. I came out here to LA at 17 because I graduated high school early, and I came out here to go to my dream school. I went to my dream school. Did that, finished at 19. I'm now 20. It's been a little bit over a year since I've been out of school. And for the longest, I was just like in this slump. I was going to work every day, and I was like, I'm not doing what I want to do, like my ultimate goal is what I'm thinking. I'm not doing this. I'm not as successful in my career as I should be and stuff like that. But anybody who knows me, I lived in North Carolina for a long time, and anybody who knows me knows I was miserable there. I hated North Carolina. I absolutely hated it. I hated where I lived. I hated a lot of the people's small-minded ideas and blah blah blah. And please know I'm not generalizing the whole state. I'm just telling my experience and reasons why I didn't like it, but I was miserable there. I lived there for 10 years, just about, and I was miserable. Every day of my life, I imagined moving to LA and what it would be like, and just even acting here. I've had a decent amount of acting jobs out here, but because they weren't like big time, I was beating myself up about it. And I had to take a moment and go, I am living one of my dreams right now. I dreamed about moving to LA, back to LA, because I was born here but not raised, since I was a kid. For years and years, I just imagined what it would be like to be in LA with friends and acting, and I'm doing that. It took me some time to really sit and think. Me from like 5 years ago right now would probably be crying tears of happiness. And you see, I'm kind of getting emotional just talking about it now, because it's like, it's so surreal, it's so crazy. I casually drive by the Hollywood sign. I casually walk down Hollywood Boulevard, and things like that are things I used to dream of seeing. Like on a daily basis, I was dreaming of stuff like that. And now I just do it so casually, like it's nothing. But I am living out so many of my dreams right now. Not only that, I live in an apartment that I love. I think it's pretty nice for LA. But no, seriously, like I could have never imagined it would have been this good. And I'm beating myself up when I'm way ahead of where I'm even supposed to be. I don't know how much grace you give other people. Give yourself some grace, because life is hard. Especially right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Historical traumatic events happening like pretty much every day. Give yourself some grace. You wake up every day, and the fact that you're even living, I think, is enough. Reason number 3. I can't speak for outside of America because I lived in America, but in America, especially in my age group, in my generation, we are in hustle culture. And I used to be all about it. Like I used to be like, yeah, you know, I work 2 jobs. Like I used to think that was a flex. I don't think that's a flex anymore, because nobody should have to work 2 jobs just to survive. Like that is ridiculous. We should be able to get a good paying job and not be making just ends meet. We should be able to live comfortably. I don't think hustle culture is a flex anymore. And I think hustle culture has also made a lot of people just kind of really shallow. I see all the time, like, if you broke, don't talk to me. Like, stay away from me if you broke. And I mean, you're entitled to your opinion and who you want around you. When you really think about it, you're not gonna talk to somebody because they don't have as much money as you, because somebody's less fortunate than you. Everybody grows up in different situations. The sad truth is a lot of those situations are not good and have made it almost impossible for that person to succeed. Now, I'm not saying they can't, but I'm saying it's made it a lot harder for them. So if you're the type of person who says, I'm not gonna talk to somebody because they're not in my tax bracket, I would say, open your heart up a little bit. Like, I know that sounds really corny. Open your heart. Open your heart to the world. But no, seriously, if you're not talking to somebody because of money, that could be a really good person you just missed out because they're not in your tax bracket. We all want to be successful, we all want to have money, blah 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 blah. Like, I totally understand, and I used to be all for hustle culture. Even myself, I've had 3 jobs like at one point in time, and you know, it really beat me up. Like, I was working literally every single day, and then I traveled to a different city and I had to do a lot of physical stuff, and I ended up having an asthma attack. And now I am still paying for these hospital bills like 6-7 months, probably more than that later. So was it worth it? Me working 3 jobs, working every single day, and having an asthma attack? I could have died. Like, I'd be forgetting, like, you can die from asthma. I forget that. So then it's like, don't play around with your life and your health either. Like, that's important. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in the hustle culture too. Like, we all want to be great, want to hustle. Like, I get it. I just don't think that's what life was supposed to be about. And when you seeing all this stuff on social media and stuff like that, you get wrapped up into it. Like I said, I was flexing, always having 2 jobs. This is the first time that I've worked where I don't have 2 jobs, where I just have 1 job. I guess you could technically say I have 2 jobs, but like on a daily basis, like this is the first time I've really only had 1 job, and I'm like, wow, I'm so much happier. Who would have thought? I just don't think that's what life was supposed to be about. We're living, I don't want to say it, but I'm just gonna say we're living in a society that were made by a certain group of people. None of us, I don't say none of us, but majority of us just don't know how to break out of it. Don't let hustle culture control you. That's ultimately the point of this. Don't get too wrapped up into it. Reason number 4. Now, I'm sure there's so many reasons I could go on about, but this is gonna be my last reason. I can always talk more about these things in depth, but blah blah blah. You are equating your self-worth to something else that does not equal your self-worth. I'll use this as an example. You're equating your self-worth to money. You don't have as much money as you want, so you think essentially that you're not worth it or that you're worthless. And I've seen a lot of friends of mine do this. One friend in particular, we've had a couple of conversations about this, and if he sees this, he's probably gonna be like, oh, here she go again. Because I've asked him this, like, do you equate yourself like to money? Because I've heard people say like, oh, I can't date right now because like my money's not up and stuff like that. And it's like, I feel you. Like, personally, I don't want to go on a date if I don't at least have enough money to pay for myself. But that's not what love is. I get you want to take somebody out on a date, but like, if you have to take somebody out on a $500 date, maybe that's not the person for you. But no, seriously, like, if you're equating your self-worth to money, gosh, life is gonna be real tough for you. And it's real easy because, I mean, even I get frustrated with money. I'll be honest, money can help. But like, if you're equating your self-worth to money, it is gonna be a real rough ride, like a real rough roller coaster for you. Because if you think you don't have enough money, you're like, I can't do this, I can't hang out with anybody, like blah blah blah, like I'm not good enough. But yet you should be equating your self-worth to who you are inside. Are you a good person? Are you genuine? Do you have good intentions? Not with anything else. I'll give another example. You think you're worthless because you think you're not pretty enough, or you think you're not good looking. I have experienced this before once upon a time when I was like depressed and blah blah blah. We're not gonna get into it. So I'm just saying I totally understand this one. I've experienced this one myself. What helped me with my confidence is I started thinking, okay, what do I like about myself? And when I looked at myself, instead of going like, oh, this about me, I went, when I look at myself, I know that this is a nice, caring person with genuine intention. I also kind of like just really helped me see myself a lot better. Stop equating things, these material things or superficial and shallow things, to your self-worth, because your self-worth should be equated to who you are as a person. You know, it's hard to build your confidence sometimes in your self-worth, but start building it with the examples I just gave. There are a lot more things I could go into, but I just wanted to say those are the 4 things that I've noticed most recently in my life and my friend's life. And I think that if we could work on these things, then we would at least be happier. And it's definitely made me happier, especially living in the now. Living in the now has released a lot of my stress, and it stopped making me be so hard on myself. I really hope that this video was helpful, that it could give you a new insight, or that you liked it. Thank you so much for watching to this point in the video. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Thank you. Thanks for watching.